children, Genesis 1, in the house. You get many amens right there. Let me move right along. So there are certain Jews, verse 12 again, whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not paid due regard to you. They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and fury, gave command to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they brought these men before the king. And Nebuchadnezzar spoke, saying to them, Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the gold image which I have set up? Now, listen, the reason I started in chapter 2, verse 47 was to show you Nebuchadnezzar, after Daniel interprets his dream, proclaims that Daniel's God is a good God. And in case you missed it, Daniel served the same God that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego served. So when Nebuchadnezzar says, Daniel, your God is the man. And now, just 14 verses later, he's confronting Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, saying, hey, so y'all gonna serve my God? Catch the subtlety of what's happening, because this is where we fall into the trap and the seduction of the enemy in this world. Is he doesn't mind you serving your God as long as you also serve his gods. If you remember the story of the children of Israel coming out of Egypt, Pharaoh says, oh, y'all can go out there a few days' journey into Goshen and, worship your God. Just make sure you come back. All right? You can go to church all day, Sunday, shout it down. But, Friday night, we're going to be at the bar, happy hour. Don't miss it. I'm looking for you. Right? And we all know that that's the reality in the struggle for Christian discipleship. We can serve Jehovah God all day Sunday. Who are we going to serve Monday morning? Who are you serving Wednesday afternoon? You will always be called to a decision and an opportunity, if you want to call it an opportunity, to serve other gods. And most of the world will have no issue with you paying lip service to serving your God. But when you're confronted with the reality, when you're confronted with the choice, are you also going to serve the gods of this world? Are you also going to serve money? Are you also going to serve power? Are you also going to serve lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life? Are you also going to demand and serve? What's going to happen when the two gods become mutually exclusive? When you can't serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the God of my own right to do whatever I want to do at the same time. What do you do? What do you do when you cannot serve Jesus and money? The Bible says, choose you this day who you serve. If God is God, serve him. If Baal is God, serve him. But you got to take a pick. Now, popular psychology in our society will tell you, you never have to choose. You can have it all. Just do it all. If nobody's mad, go to church. But don't look at me crazy when I say, I'm doing something completely antithetical to Christian scripture the whole rest of the week. That's right. I read a startling story. Get my news from Facebook now because we don't have cable. So startling story about a pastor down in Florida who he's married and he's with a woman in the church who's married, and they see no problem with it, and the woman is filed a suit against her husband who came home and caught them together, and she's mad with her husband because of how he behaved. Now, I want to know, what is y'all preaching on Sunday? What book do you have that allows for all that? But that's when the decision, we don't see, because the enemy now does not come to us, particularly in this reality, as Nebuchadnezzar with an audible voice, will you not serve our gods? The enemy looks real different now. The enemy looks like an attractive woman walking past a married man and winking. Will you serve? Oh God. That's what the enemy looks like now. Looks like, will you compromise your ethics and principles for financial advancement? That's what that question now looks like. And alarmingly, we get it wrong more often than we like to admit. That's how, I'm going to say this and move on from this point, that's how you end up looking in places that call themselves churches, and more than lifting up God, they're lifting up financial prosperity because they're serving the God of money. That's how you come into the church, the house of God supposedly, and you see people treated like celebrities with influence and power because they're serving the God of power. And the question being asked was asked so subtly that nobody in the church realized it until 5 years later. You looking around like, wait, how in the world did we get from lifting up Jesus to 30 minutes of praise and worship supposedly, but every song during praise and worship is about how God gonna bless me with a new house, new car, and some more money. Maybe y'all never went to that church. I said, I did, amen. Been there, got the t-shirt. Thank God he delivered me. Amen. If you are ready, verse 15, now if you are ready, at the time you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the harp, the lyre, and psaltery, and symphony with all kinds of music, and you fall down and worship the image which I have made, then you're good. You're good. I'm not mad that you serve your God. Just as long as you dance when I play this music. As long as you play the game I need you to play, then you're good. Look, some of us have family members who are fine with you standing on your principles as long as your principles does not run in contradiction to what they want. They're good with it. Oh, sure, yeah, I'm fine with you and your little marriage to your little wife, your little husband. That's cute. Y'all got y'all thing going, but y'all know how we do over here in our family. These are our traditions, so as long as when it's time for us to do this, y'all doing this, you're good. Now, if you take a stand that says, for God I live, for God I die, y'all might not like me no more. That's why I'm going to go home, leave y'all right here. Amen. I'm preaching to myself. Y'all ain't got me. Somebody in the back know what I'm talking about. All right, so he says, you're good as long as when this music plays, you worship. But if you do not worship, you shall be cast immediately into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is the God who will deliver you from my hands? Now, I love, and in our colloquial vernacular, we might think Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are being a little bit sarcastic or salty in their response, but they're not. They're being very solemn, very sincere. And they say, and the Bible doesn't even talk about one of them speaking up. It says almost like they said it in concert, like they were singing. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "Oh, Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter." One version says, we're not even careful to respond to this. Now, why is that again? It sounds like they're being disrespectful. Man, I don't care nothing about what you're talking about. That's not what they're saying. What they're literally saying is, what you presented to me isn't even an option. Wow. This isn't a choice. What are you, I don't know what you're saying. Like, and people get frustrated with me sometimes because, you know, when you ask me real crazy questions, sometimes my face shows you that I thought it was crazy, and I'm trying not to show you that I think your question's crazy, but I said, I don't really know what you mean by that. I mean what I said, but I don't get it. That's how they respond to Nebuchadnezzar. So you're trying to tell me, Nebuchadnezzar, you know who I serve. My witness has been consistent. You know who I am. You knew who I was when you promoted me on this job. You knew what I believed. When you gave me this position, you knew I wasn't going with y'all to all these little crazy places y'all hang out after work. You knew that then. Now you mad? I don't even have to answer this. I don't have a choice in the matter. I'm compelled. Paul says I'm a prisoner for Christ. The challenge for us to be consistent disciples in a hostile environment is, you know, there's an old gospel song, I think by James Hall, says, you can have the world, give me Jesus. Our challenge is we want Jesus and the world. Listen, I hate to break it to you. You cannot have both. He said himself in his word, the world is going to hate you. Not periodically disagree with you. Hate you. Why? Because in instances like these, you don't have a choice. I cannot tell you what you're doing is okay. I had somebody come to me for advice. I think I might share the story with some of y'all before. Brother came to me for advice. Man, my girlfriend isn't doing right. Her children are disrespecting me in the house. Man, I need your help. You know, I see your house and your marriage and everything looks wonderful and beautiful. And I said, well, you know, did I fall asleep and y'all got married? Did I miss it? Like, nah, man. So you're living together, unmarried, in this young lady's house, leaving your house. She has children, and you're asking me for advice as to how to make that work? Bruh. I can't help you. You're wanting husband respect with boyfriend commitment. I'm sure there's a preacher down the street who'll counsel you in that. I can't do it. I'm not even careful to answer you in this. You might never call me again for advice, but today, I'm going to give you all I got on this one, buddy. Right? And those kinds of stances will make you unpopular because the world teaches us that all of that's fine. That's Old Testament teaching. That's thousands of years ago teaching. You don't have to make those kinds of sacrifices for righteousness' sake and for holiness' sake. And I love this part. This is a little off topic, but I love people say, well, you know, you didn't always do that, right? You're right. That's why I'm not the standard. Don't do the stupid stuff I did, because I did it. Amen. So they say, we're not even careful to answer you in this matter. If that is the case, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from this burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us from your hand, O king. I'm going to come back to that because we miss that a lot when we read this text. But he's talking about two separate things. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up. Listen, if you are going to be a disciple in a hostile environment, your faith has to be in God's purpose more so than just God's power to do what you want. We got shout the dust out the carpet faith to believe that God will deliver us. When it comes to faith that if he doesn't, he knows better than I do.
That's right.
You don't get many amens through that. That ain't where the church shouts. I think God can deliver me. He has the power to do it. I'm believing he will. Great. Now all I got to do is wait for an instance when he doesn't deliver you how you feel like you should be delivered, and your witness will be crumbling. But they say, you can wait on that if you want, because guess what? If he doesn't deliver me, I'm still not serving your God.
Amen. Amen.
If they fire me from this job, I'm still not going to compromise my principles just to pay my rent next month. If everybody walks out on me because of the stance I take and I'm all alone,
That's right.
I'm still not going to serve your gods. That's a whole different level of faith than, oh, I believe he'll heal my child of this disease. Well, he can. I don't know if he will. I get real nervous when I go in churches there's 4,000 and 5,000 people and the preacher's making a proclamation over all 4,000 or 5,000. It's your season for this, it's your season for that. How do you know that everybody in this room is in the same season? I have no idea what God is going to do in your life tomorrow. I don't have to know. I'm not God. Right? I prayed for healing. If God does not heal, he is no less God. And he has done you no wrong. Your life is a gift from him. And when he is ready to call you home, he has all rights, ability, and authority to call you home. If my faith is only in the fact that he can heal you, if he does not, my faith will fail me. But they say, oh, sure, he can deliver us. But guess what? If he doesn't,